Bonjour à toutes et à tous les amis et bienvenue sur la chaîne YouTube de So Catch by Owl. J'espère que vous allez bien. Très heureux de vous retrouver aujourd'hui pour une interview posée, une interview canapé, une interview détente après une très longue journée avec David Starr. Hello David, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you doing? I don't know what you just said, but
I basically just say welcome on the YouTube channel.
okay,
blah, blah,
cool,
blah, blah,
cool.
blah, blah.
Well, welcome, guys. Welcome, guys.
Welcome guys. Glad to have you on the coach.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm currently just relaxed right now. You know.
Yeah, that's what I said as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Relaxed
Very-
position.
Very a good or a long but good weekend.
Nice.
It was I'm just real comfortable now knowing that I've after this I have about 3-4 days off.
Which is good news,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So feeling good though. Feeling good.
Okay, glad. Best mood to do the interview.
Best mood to do the interview.
Okay.
Every interview, it's the best mood to do it in.
Cool. I can't remember who, but I might like someone actually told me that you were speaking a bit of French.
No.
That's not true.
No, I did.
With me.
I was gonna say I did a seminar in France, 2 years ago, and I learned left, right, like droit, droit.
It was 1, 2, 3.
Oh, un, deux, trois.
It's like with the Chinese accent, but that's right.
Oh, sure. Okay. Well, obviously, because I'm American, because I speak English, so I'm not going to have the good French accent. But no, I speak no French. I also speak no German. Enough to German. I have enough to point to a menu, or at least be like, I know this, I know this.
Yeah,
That's about it.
but you I think you got a nice merci.
Merci.
Yes,
Merci.
You say it very
I got
well.
that down because you have to say, you have to know in every language you go to, you have to know how to say thank you, and please, and excuse
Exactly.
me, and
hello,
sorry.
yeah,
and-
good morning, like
Yeah, of
few
course.
stuff.
Yeah.
And
Bonjour.
people always like when you say it in their language.
Yeah, of course.
Like they feel you're into it and you want to do the effort to know more about them, the language, of course,
Sure.
and the culture.
There was a time when I was at WXW all the time, and I wanted to do this. I had this idea where in Germany I would have I would do a promo. I would learn it in German and say this whole promo in German. Everyone obviously it'd be like, oh wow, he's speaking German, and then have a heel come out and have them be like, oh, he doesn't even know German. He doesn't speak the language. Look, he just memorized that, and then me respond to what he said in German. Everyone's like, what the hell? I was discouraged from doing that.
Yeah,
though.
German is really difficult.
Well, not even because of that. I was discouraged from doing that because then all of the fans would never speak to me in English again. They'd
Oh,
be
yeah,
like, "Oh,
that's
you know
true.
German?" I'm like, "No, don't." The worst idea ever. I don't.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. All right. We've known David Starr with the big beard.
Big beard. I've had a big
Beard.
one before. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Then normal beard. Then no beard at all.
None. Yeah.
Then now the mustache.
Mustache. Yeah.
What's next? Everybody
Oh,
wants to
man,
know.
what's
The
next?
goatee.
No, I don't think I'll ever do a goatee. I don't hate myself enough to do that. But no, I think the mustache is going to be here to stay for a while. I'm really into it. I really like it.
Yeah,
I think it's a good, stern dad mustache.
Yeah, American dad mustache.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Absolutely. And that's what I was kind of going for. I didn't think I'd be a mustache guy until I was 35. I knew I would be at some point because I know this will be gone. The top of my head will go. My back will end up getting hairy from that. And then I was going to have just a sick, really strict looking mustache.
It's nice.
think I
it's
got
nice.
it.
It's nice looking. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm happy.
quite jealous. Mine is not that much.
That's okay, but it goes with the rest of your stuff going on, you know?
I'm David Starr approved, at least. I wanted to start the interview with my first question, a first real question at
Sure.
least. I saw you promoting this for the last few months. What does represent the movement We the Independent?
Sure. Well, I think there's a little bit of a difference. So, there was a thing that fans dubbed the independent movement,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's also the company that myself and James Musselwhite own, which is We the Independent. The independent movement, I suppose, is just, the way I define it, is the ability and the push for independent wrestlers, independent artists to be able to have the freedom to say yes or no, know their own value, push for themselves, not cower in to the pressures of the business, which is, you do things for exposure and you put your body on the line for little to no benefit for yourself. It's pushing for people to know their value and understand it. We, the Independent, is a merchandising company that myself and James Musselwhite started. And basically what we do is we take portions of our proceeds and we sponsor wrestlers who are based in the UK.
Do you do that?
Yeah, we sponsor them into Equity. And Equity in the UK is an entertainment trade union. And through that trade union, you get a lot of benefits just by being an individual member. So from an individual standpoint, which it just makes sense for every single UK-based wrestler to join. From an individual standpoint, you get disability welfare insurance, which didn't happen until our company and our movement. James and I started working with Equity hands-on, like face-to-face.
Okay.
We pushed them to include wrestlers in the disability welfare insurance policy, and they hadn't had that before. That changed, so wrestlers are protected that way. You have public liability insurance, so if there's any incident with a fan or anything like that where someone gets hurt and they want to sue you, you're covered through the equity insurance program that way. Covered through loss of gear insurance, which
Gear insurance, whoa.
yeah. So if you lose something at a show, which happens so much. You have lost your gear is insured. You also have a place for contract advice, for tax advice. They can look over any contract you're given, and you can understand it more. So they can help you out with your taxes and filing your taxes as a self-employed person or as a business entity itself. You also get for if there's harassment or assault, any sort of that, you get support through that. And there's other stuff too. There's a bunch. If you go to equity.org.uk, you'll see all of the benefits. It also only costs at a minimum of £10.58 a month. So it's like nothing. So what we do is we take portions of our proceeds that we make from every piece of merch that says Independent on it, and we sponsor wrestlers' trade union dues into that. So they get that protection. The other thing that's great about Equity, and it's great about people joining, is that we get the power to collectively bargain. So basically what happens is through collective action, so if a lot of wrestlers join, essentially Equity has its own little branch for just wrestlers, and they can fight on the behalf of the collective that's a part of it.
Okay, yeah.
So the next step, which there might be a question in that we're doing. We've already had a handful of promotions agree verbally to adhere to the pledge that we're going to be issuing, which is just simple, which just says you're going to provide food and water to your workers, all of them, ring crew, photographers, every single one of them.
Which unfortunately is not always the case, even in 2020.
Very often not the case. There's times, I've had to be at shows and there's no water in the back for people working the show.
I've seen that many times.
It's insane, and very rarely is there any food. And I'm not talking about it has to be this 5-star catering.
Yeah, we're talking about the basic food like bread,
anything,
some
bars,
I don't know, biscuit.
If there's some form of sustenance,
just stuff you eat waiting.
You have guys driving hours upon hours upon hours to get to your show, and they're literally putting your life on the line when you wrestle. That's what happened. Look what happened. At the show yesterday. Yeah. And even today there was someone who got hurt again today, Exactly. You're risking your life, your limb. A lot of these guys have regular jobs. And if you get hurt wrestling and you can't work there, they don't care.
Yes.
They don't care. Also, if you're a part of Equity and you have a regular job and you get hurt wrestling and you can't wrestle, then you'd be able to get the disability welfare insurance even if you're able to perform your regular job.
Okay.
So there you go. It protects you all the way. It's awesome. So we have the pledge says you'll give food and water to all your workers. You'll have all your agreements written in text. And if you'll have all your agreements written in text, a qualified and competent medic live at every show. Present.
Again, which is not always the case.
Not
even
always the case
in 2020.
Yep. And the other one would be you'd recognize the union, which basically would be you'd recognize the fact that your workers have a right to negotiate the standards of practice and the codes of conduct that they're going to adhere to for the company. So there's been a handful of companies who have already verbally agreed to that. We've been working on a template agreement, like a template CBA.
Official
Yeah.
statement.
So that we can put it out there. We're currently working on we're working on a concussion policy and like a hardcore match policy and stuff like that.
Whoa, man.
So we're still ironing out the details. But we're working on that, and then once that's done, the places that have agreed to it, they'll enact it, and then we'll take that to their roster and to their workforce, and we'll see what changes they want specific to them. They'll elect their own representative that can talk to management,
Okay,
and then
yes.
these things will be negotiated however long the terms they want to negotiate for. So those are the next steps like that. Another thing we're working on is we just found this out recently because of the medic thing. Depending on how you get hurt or what happens to you, a medic needs to know. Like if you've been on what medications you're on, what you're taking, if you have any ailments, if you have any allergies, anything like
exactly.
that. If you have like epilepsy or anything like that, they need to know.
Like medical background for everybody.
Yes. So we're working on a thing where we're going to end up putting on our website like a medical background sheet that every single wrestler can print out, fill out,
And carry
they
with them.
carry with them for every show they go to, so that if anything happens, they can say, "Hey,
Boom.
here we go." So that's the process that we're really going to be working on from February through April.
Okay. Man, oh man, I work on this, like preparing the interview, but
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that was covering like so many fields,
Yeah.
so many different fields. I have to say I'm quite impressed for real.
Well, we're trying. Well, the thing is, like, a lot of people don't. There's been people that have said stuff like, "Oh, it's like," they've come at me for like profiteering and stuff like that, which is ridiculous. These agreements and stuff and everything has nothing to do with me making any money or James making any money or the company making any money. It doesn't. It is just we have our merch, of course we do, and that helps us sponsor people into equity, which is what we want to do. Sponsor as many people as possible into equity. But we're also asking people just to join on their own, and through that we've had equity wrestler membership within equity more than quadruple since July.
Okay.
We also sponsor 10 at least, I think right now, and we're adding more every month. We sponsor 10 people ourselves into it, so we're paying for their memberships, which is going to be which those people are guaranteed to be covered from us for at least 2 years. So their dues are paid for 2 years. Now, it just doesn't make sense to say that the idea of the CBAs and the medical agreements and all that stuff like that has anything to do with making any money. It's literally just us trying to do our best to make the business better.
Okay.
We're trying to leave our mark on the business. I want to leave, like, my most important thing is leaving a legacy of helping people and trying and making sure that this business is better than when I stepped into it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How did you get this idea of the movement of like putting everything together?
I mean, really, James and I, Muscleway, we've just been working together quite a bit since like about February, March time. We've been working together on promos and just like actual stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then we just got more and more hands on. We did a promo before Progress Super Strong Style, which kind of started the thing for us. We realized that we had something there, and then we decided, like, you know what, this could be so much bigger. This is so much more important.
Definitely.
So let's push this. Let's really do it. No one's talked about it because the big taboo word in wrestling is the U word. You know, you're never supposed to say the U word. And I mean, it's cost me bookings, it's cost me championships, it's cost me opportunities and stuff like that. But it's whatever, because if it helps every single person that steps into a ring or starts training somewhere, like, I want them to be protected and I want them to be okay. And if that means I have to sacrifice a few bookings, then whatever, you know.
Okay.
The idea just came from James and I wanting to improve things.
Okay. The name is really strong as well. We the Independent.
Yeah.
Does it means that you would immediately turn down any contract or contract proposition you could be given by
No.
a major company?
No. That's not the point. And we put this out there a lot. It's not about like contracted versus signed or anything like that, because it's all workers, and it includes the wrestlers who are signed. It was a major misconception about it being like, no, say no to these places, don't do that, just stay independent. But that's dumb. Like, if you say that flat out, you know what I mean? That's dumb.
Of course.
It doesn't make sense. Everybody's situation is different. You have to evaluate it for yourself. You have to. The point is to know your worth, know your value, understand what you're signing, understand what's in that contract. Don't just sign the first thing that's there. The way that Eddie Kingston puts it, it's my favorite quote from wrestling. I love it so much. Be a mark for the numbers, not for the letters. That's the biggest thing. And you have to treat the business like a business, and you have to understand the value of signing, the value of not signing, the ability to say no. And that's really what we want people to have, is the ability and the power to make a fair decision. Because for so long, so many guys weren't able to say no. You know what I mean? Like, it was ridiculous to say no. So
I get your point.
We want to empower people to have that ability to say no, if they want to. That's really it. And that's why these protections that we're talking about with equity and unionizing and things, that's what that's really there for, so people can feel empowered to make a real decision.
Yeah, they got the choice.
Yep, a real choice, because that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, before. Okay. So you partially answered this question, but do you think this is the goal of any indie pro wrestler to be signed at the moment by a major company?
I mean, I think it's nice.
Sounds like.
No, it's nice. You know what I mean? It's nice to get a paycheck every 2 weeks, guaranteed. You know what I mean? Like that's great, and you can't take away that kind of security, really, as opposed to being on the indies and going from show to show to show to show, promoters not paying you, doing all that. You know? Oh, that's another thing with equity. You have small claims legal backing. That was the one that I forgot. So if there is a promoter who stiffs you on pay, they have legal support for you that they will back you up, and you can claim your money back, and you can get it. Absolutely. Which I already know, like, a handful of wrestlers who have used that, and they've gotten their money back already, even through the threats of legal pressure.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think, is it the goal? I think it's a goal of some people. I like me. For me personally, I gave up the goal of signing to a major company a long time ago when I got really bitter about wrestling.
Okay.
There was a point where I went like really low, and I always was, I felt okay. I wasn't that good at all. I actually not that good. I wasn't good at all, in my opinion. Looking back, but I would get mad. I would see people getting booked for big companies, and I would think, why isn't that me? Like, why isn't that me? What's wrong with me? Why am I? That should be me there. And I got angry and annoyed about it. But then I had to think about, that's somebody else's choice to book me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's up to somebody else. I can't control their decision. So I had to focus on me and just make myself better every day, and then make myself so good that they can't deny booking me.
Okay, yeah.
So is it the goal to get signed? I think for a lot of guys it is.
Yeah.
I gave up that mentality a long time ago. If it happened, it happened. That was kind of like the thing that was the piece that I came to in my mind.
Okay, I agreed. All right. What do you think is the most difficult thing for an indie pro wrestler?
The most difficult thing, I mean, the travel, the fact that it's not a lot of money for a lot of people. I'm in a fairly privileged position where I get taken care of for the most part where I go, and on the shows that I'm on, like, a lot of the shows are with guys who are also in the same kind of getting taken care of level. They're getting paid properly. They're getting flown places. They're all this stuff. They get wined and dined when they go from place to place. But we have to really understand the roots of pro wrestling are the people that aren't taken care of. And there's way more guys working for a hot dog and a handshake than there are guys who are paying their bills. That's just it. The hardest thing, man, is it's literally risking your body constantly, and then a lot of these guys, again, they have regular jobs during the week.
Yeah.
And the weekend they travel like crazy.
So like double work.
Dude, they barely sleep, and they don't even get time to catch up on it. They're burning the candle at both ends, and on top of that, they're killing their own bodies, like taking years off their life. It's just how it is. That's the most. I mean, it's hard to say that's not the most difficult part, right?
Yes, I agreed. You also stated the indie pro wrestler traveled a lot, changing from a place to another. Sometimes they don't have time to rest properly and heal potential injuries. What do you think of the use of weed to calm some pains sometime? I know some wrestlers do that.
Yeah.
And it's also legal in some states of US.
Yeah.
What's the point of view?
I think it's 100% okay.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. I think it's way better than taking opioid-based pain pills. It's way less addictive. It's way less damaging. I think obviously be safe about what you get, because you know, like a lot of times when you get it, it's going to be through black market means, so you have to be careful. But I have no issues with wrestlers or anybody for that matter, anybody using marijuana at all. Go for it. It should be legalized everywhere.
Okay. So you talked about it as well. How do you value your physical health, and how do you put this in the balance to settle a price about what you do as a performer?
Sure. I mean, it's hard to say that any wrestler values their physical health, isn't it? But everybody has the right to set their price for whatever they're willing to do, whatever they're willing to do for.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's up to you. I do think that they should be protected as far as the low scale. Like, you should be secure and knowing you're not going to go below a certain number, and that comes from minimum wages. That comes, which we're not pushing for quite yet, although I'm in favor of them massively. We've got to get our foot in the door a little bit, you know. But it comes from everybody else not undercutting each other. Yes. Everybody else setting this at least minimum standard, and it does come from literal formal agreements. But valuing myself, man, it's tough because, again, how can I say that?
I don't know if it's going to help you a little bit, but
Yeah.
when I did the interview with Will Ospreay, I asked him kind of same question, and he told me it was depending on the
What you're getting out of it.
that the money that the promoter is getting out of it. Like if it's gonna
Oh, sure.
make a big venue with a lot of people, so a lot of
Yes,
money,
more
or
money,
a small
yeah.
venue.
Yeah, but you see, like that's a different opinion you'll get from Will, you'll get from me, so again, that's like I get to set my price for me.
Yep.
And that's it. I don't like it when a promoter tries to negotiate me down. I think that's ridiculous, because I think this is the way the conversation goes. You hit me up, or I hit you up. It doesn't matter. We start talking about a date or something. I tell you what my fee is, and then if you can't do that fee, say you can't do it.
Yeah.
And then if I'm willing, I say, okay, well, what number can we do? Or then what price can we do? But it's not up to the promoter to tell me, hey, can you go less? Can you do less than that? It's not, you know what I mean? And it happens all the time. And it's not even like particularly rude in reality, because it's going to get to a negotiation at some point, possibly anyway. But I do think that's on the workers to make that decision. And you have to. I did a Chris Hero seminar years ago. And one of the things he said was find value in every single thing you do, which whether that value is financial, whether that's networking, whether that's experience, whether that's wrestling somebody special, whether that means you're going to make a bunch of merch that day, whatever it is, find value in everything you do and set your value like your literal wage according to that.
Okay. Changing the subject, did you ever experience racism in pro wrestling, being Jewish?
Yeah. I mean,
All the time.
A lot. Yeah, actually a lot. I mean, from people, obviously, I think like most of the workers and stuff I surround myself with, it's mostly in jest. And I understand, like, people, I'm probably labeled for the most part like a big SJW, like social justice warrior, like crybaby guy. But I can joke and take a joke. And it's, you know, amongst friends, there's obviously we bust each other's balls, you know, it is what it is.
That's what we do.
Yeah, of course. So, but fans, people I don't know, yeah, I've had that experience a bunch of times. Like, I made a reference in a promo fairly recently, I was a heel, and like this babyface wanted to like challenge me to a fight again, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll fight you. And I looked over at the promoter and I said, am I getting a second match? Like, am I getting double pay? And he looked and he was like, what? And I was like, no? Okay, no, see you later. And I bailed. And then some dude screamed out, yeah, of course the Jew would want more money. And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, you go fuck yourself, man.
That's a good one, actually.
Oh, yeah, it's great, isn't it? It's great. Yeah, so he said that, and then I've had people throw like change at me and stuff like that. I've had people call me
that's like
kike.
Mexican culture.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
because
that's what it is. That's what it is. We love this. They did it on the entrance. They love my entrance so much.
Oh.
They started throwing quarters,
pelting
quarters
for
at
real,
me
like,
and pennies. Yeah, oh, you know, that actually happened.
On the entrance, I guess it's
well,
tough.
no, it's wrong the whole time.
It's hard.
It's wrong the whole time. First of all, if you're gonna throw money in the ring, throw bills,
At the end,
paper at the end of the match.
end,
Right?
please.
No. It was very much an anti-Semitic attack.
Okay. Whoa.
It happened to me at CZW years and years ago, and I called them out actually in the ring for it because they'd been doing it over a period of months. And then when I was on the ground selling near them, they called me like a kike, and they would say stuff like that. Yeah, they're not. I've experienced plenty of anti-Semitism. Definitely.
Okay. Whoa, it's a.
I've gotten death threats for being anti-Semitic, or for being Jewish, for being anti-Semitic. No,
Yeah.
I've gotten death threats for being Jewish when I was at university. I got stuff I got like hate mail and stuff.
Okay. Whoa. I thought you would have said yes, of course, but it's what you're saying. It's
Oh, yeah, no, it's not.
hard, really hard.
Dude, when I was in high school, when I was younger, honestly, I was surrounded by such a diverse community, and everything was relatively okay. And I didn't even believe that racism really existed when I was young.
Mhm.
I didn't. And then I went to college, I went to university, and I was opened up to this whole real world. And I was like, oh my God, this is like so crazy. And I didn't see it, and I felt so bad. Most of my friends when I was in high school, most of my friends that I keep in touch with from back home, from when I was growing up, most of them were black. Just like I just happen to have a lot of black friends, whatever. And I felt so bad that I didn't understand their experience.
Yeah,
you
me
know?
too. It's kind of complicated, like for a white boy,
Yeah.
European, like to understand this kind of stuff.
Dude, you got to understand your privilege. You know what I mean? You got to understand the advantages you get just for walking down the street white. Like, yeah, I'm Jewish, right? But I walk down the street and I don't get labeled that. You don't know that. I'm walking down the street like a white guy. And it's not the same thing as like a black dude walking down the street has to be careful when a cop comes around because you don't know. I mean, we have black people getting murdered and just beaten in the streets for being black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. So, yeah, when I went to university, man, it opened me up. Like, this whole other hateful world that exists that's so prominent, and we just kind of like especially in the suburbs, we just like push it off to the side. You know?
Yeah, it's like we don't want to see.
Yeah,
Like,
we don't
let's
see
do as it doesn't exist.
in our bubble. It doesn't exist, so
Exactly.
it doesn't exist.
In
you
our
know?
bubble,
it's
doesn't
nuts.
exist. Okay, you talked about it. We're gonna change the subject again, but you talked
Sure.
about it. Let's come back to something a little bit cooler. You travel a lot. Is it difficult for you, like, to develop personal relationship?
I lost a
mean,
lot of friends. I lost a lot of friends, and I've definitely lost girlfriends in the past
Mm-hmm.
from it. But in the past, it definitely didn't help that I wasn't making as much money. Now, no, I mean that, and I don't mean that as in like, oh, money keeps girls happy, but I mean that as far as like, I'm able to be more of like an actual adult now about it. You know what I mean?
Okay, yes, like more stable situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's what you mean by more money.
Yes, 100%. It is just that way. I'm currently with somebody I've been with for about 2 years, and she's a total dickhead. And if she watches this,
I thought you were about to say she's wonderful.
no, she's the worst. Yeah, she's a dick. I hate her, but whatever. She pays half the rent, I guess. So, yeah. So no, we've been together for a little over 2 years now.
Okay.
And it's been going really well. I mean, she's British as well, so it helped me my moving situation, moving to the UK is what. But yeah, it's hard. I see a lot of people do a lot of things that aren't the best.
Okay, but so you moved to UK because you are American, correct?
Yeah.
And you live in the UK right now.
Yes.
Since when?
Since September of 2018.
Okay, so yeah, little bit more than a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you like it?
Love it.
Yeah.
Get to go to the doctor.
The doctor in the UK are not the best, but
Doesn't matter. They're free.
that's what you care about.
Well, it helps. It helps, man. Well, the thing is, like, day-to-day life in all these different places, especially in another English-speaking country,
Mhm.
and I live down south in England, so like I can understand them when they speak English for the most part. Not
You live near London?
yeah.
Okay, good.
So, and day-to-day life in England and in America here, everything's pretty much, relatively speaking, the same.
Yeah, that's what we're discussing.
Yeah, but the thing is, I can go to the doctor.
Yeah, the differences are paper differences.
Yeah.
Let's call them.
Yeah.
It's what you can do and what you can't.
Yep.
Life is quite the same,
Pretty much.
but in some places you can do stuff that you have to pay maybe somewhere else.
Right. There's just better social safety net in Europe and Britain and stuff, and that it definitely helps. I mean, the reason I moved there wasn't necessarily because of that, but it is a big factor, huge factor.
Okay. On social media, you show quite a lot of support to the UK Labour Party.
Yep.
How important is it for you?
It's a big part. I mean, obviously, a lot of it was leading up to this most recent general election, which was extremely disappointing and disheartening. Obviously, the issue of Brexit was just too much. You don't pay attention to politics. We've been talking about this all weekend.
I do. I try to, but
it's okay. No, dude, it's all.
It's
good,
complicated to find interest in
It's
it.
very complicated. Sure, I understand. So in the UK, it was a general election, and it was very disappointing for the Labour Party. It was a really big loss, even though they had a leader that pushed really popular economic policies and stuff like that. The issue of Brexit was obviously just too much, and Corbyn had been smeared massively in the media for a couple years. It just didn't turn out well.
Yeah.
So that's fine. That's when I joined the Labour Party leading up to that, and I do think that the Labour Party and left-wing causes around the world are the way that the world's going to be able to come together on the environment, especially specifically trying to create an international coalition regarding climate change. I don't really see that coming from the conservative wing of the political spectrum at all, right?
Me neither.
You were going to need massive regulations and a massive overhaul of a lot of our economies all around the world.
Okay.
There's going to have to be real change implemented, and I see the Labour Party significantly more than the Lib Dems and the Green Party, than
even the Green Party for the
they're not. They don't have a lot of
popular enough.
Yeah, they don't have enough representation, and on top of that, there was a couple weird smears the Green Party had of socialist policies that I understand you're just purely environmentalists, right? But then that should also come hand in hand with a lot of other social action and stuff,
and the politics of the country.
Yeah, you'd feel like that makes sense. It's not going to happen with the SNP. It's not going to happen with the Unity Party, the DUP in Northern Ireland. It's not going to happen. Definitely not going to happen with the Tories. Labour Party's the way to go. In America, the Democratic Party, even though the Democratic Party, the establishment, is atrocious, and they're just mostly centrist and center-right, and they literally campaign against universal health care and housing and education and stuff like that. They're still, unfortunately, we just got to keep pushing them to the left. Okay. That's also why I support Bernie Sanders. Is that something about Bernie Sanders in there? Or just
No.
Oh, okay.
I told you I don't
vote for Bernie.
I don't know Bernie Sanders.
Oh.
I checked yesterday.
Yeah.
Because and I saw he was a 78
years old. Yeah.
U.S. governor.
No. U.S. senator. He's a senator.
The same.
He was a mayor. He was a mayor, a congressman, and now he's a senator.
Okay. And where do you stand on ecology then?
On ecology.
Yeah.
Explain this right now. Why am I can't figure this out in my head.
Ecology.
Yeah.
As environment.
Oh. Where do I stand on it? I mean, we need to save the planet's going to be okay. I was going to say save the planet. The planet will be fine. Just humans will die. That's what's going to happen. And we need to do everything we can to try and do our best to reverse climate change. I believe that what did scientists say? We have less than 10 years to do something right now. To try and reverse climate change, we need massive regulations. We do all need to cut down on, there needs to be massive regulations for the meat production industry, for the fossil fuel industry, which just needs to be completely eradicated from existence. We need to have green energy systems. We need to have renewable energy systems that are self-sustaining and not dependent on internationalism. There needs to be at the end of the day, I'm not even really necessarily in favor of borders, but I go over there. So but the way we're set up with nation states, and they need to be able to produce their own proper, renewable, green energy.
Okay. Don't you think that sharing so openly your political opinion, especially in social media, didn't close some door to you?
Yes. 100%.
I mean, especially when you were talking about it a little bit previously, but when we can think about the buddies you got, from the indie circuit, Matt Riddle, I don't know, Adam Cole, maybe Keith Lee, Walter, all these guys went to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
know you. Can you see? Do you think it can be related?
With the fact that I'm not in WWE or not in any major corporate company.
Because
Yeah,
you share
100%.
your
100%.
political.
100%. I know for a fact that I'm not allowed to wrestle.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be
for-
strike.
No, I'm not allowed to wrestle for multiple corporate wrestling companies, or I'm blacklisted from them, or like it's, that's just how it is, and I understand that's how it goes. But that's the price you pay. It's consequences. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequence, and I have to understand that. I know that. It's just how it goes. I'm just doing everything I can to live by what I believe in, and
Yes.
that's that.
Being okay with yourself is more important.
Yeah, man. I think that when I have kids at some point, I want to be able to look them in the eyes and feel like I did the right things. And I think that fighting for my fellow workers, even if it costs me a job, I think that's the right thing to do. And a bunch of them have told me I'm stupid for doing it. They have. I mean, it could have been real easy for me to just shut up about everything and just be a wrestler and just go for it and just get signed somewhere, make a ton of money, and then be fine. I could do that. I could have done that. It's just not really my style to go the way everybody else does, though, I guess.
It could be like super funny to see like your kids being super conservative.
Oh my God! Please don't. Don't say. I found out recently that my niece is dating an American conservative, and she's like head over heels in love with him. And I was like, oh, okay, okay.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah. Well, I can't even say I can't even say conservative, because if you're in favor of the current Republican Party in America, or the current president in America, I mean,
Who's
you're
this guy?
way for this guy Donald Trump. This guy. I tell you what, this guy Donald Trump, he's the best.
It's 2K20.
The best guy in the world. He's the smartest guy. He knows better than anybody else. He has the most fantastic hair and the best suntan. He's a great suntan, I tell you.
Do you know that I'm gonna edit this and cut it like the 20-second?
That's
and
fine.
Post it everywhere.
Well, that's
on
fine.
Twitter.
One of my favorite Trump things recently. He was at a rally the day that he got impeached. He was at a rally in Michigan, and he was talking, and there was like these air fighter pilots there, and he starts talking about how these F-35 pilots, how good looking they are. And then he just goes, and this isn't an exact quote, but this is like what I envisioned in my head, because I read the transcript thing, and I envisioned him just being like, our F-35 fighter pilots are the best looking. They're so hot. They're so sexy. Our fighter pilots, they're so good looking. They're good. They look just like Tom Cruise. Maybe equal in faces to Tom Cruise, because Tom Cruise is a real good-looking guy. I know that. Tom Cruise is a great-looking guy. But our fighter pilots, they are the best-looking fighter pilots. So hot, so sexy. Equal in faces to Tom Cruise, but better bodies. I tell you, that's what our fighter pilots have. Obama's fighter pilots, ugly. The worst fighter pilots you've ever seen under President Barack Hussein Obama.
Okay, no transition. Do you think WWE still has the monopoly in pro wrestling?
Yes, WWE has a monopoly, and it exists solely based on the fact that if the casual person walking down the street, if I say I'm a pro wrestler, the first response is like WWE.
Yeah.
They've made themselves Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? Like, you get a soda, you get a Coke. That's what it goes. You know what I mean? And I mean, like, it is what it is. There's other options now, but
Okay.
it's not even close to that of WWE level. WWE is competing with network television. These other companies that are competing with them wrestling-wise, I mean, it's not even close.
I get your point, yeah.
So yeah, they definitely have a monopoly on the business.
And what do you think about AEW?
It's cool.
Couple of weeks that we see the product on TV.
I haven't watched it a lot, but I've seen my friends there, and I'm happy that there's people that are doing well there. I'm happy that my friends are doing well at WWE, Ring of Honor, all these places. Even though Ring of Honor is owned by a terrible, terrible company, Sinclair Broadcasting, which is virtually the devil. Obviously, in jest, they're not completely the devil. They're like there with them, though. They're in the circle. But no, I have friends working for New Japan, all of them. It's great. There's these places that people can make money and work, AEW's also shown that they're pretty good regarding so far in the short term about keeping their guys happy, and we'll see. There's plenty more that they can do and expand moving forward, and hopefully they do it. But AEW, from what I've seen, is pretty cool.
All right. Thanks for that.
Oh, cut! Thanks for that.
Hey, you got it. You got it. Okay, can you tell me the name of 3 very promising next talent to come?
Oh man!
People I might not know.
Whoa. Let me think. Okay, 3 talents off the top of my head. Well, you know what? That dude I wrestled in the finals, White Eagle. I don't know how to say it in
Aigle
French.
Blanc.
He was dope.
Yes, he is. He is money. He is living money.
There's this dude. He was great. This dude Jordan Oliver in the States is awesome. Blake Christian is awesome. There's guys like all over the place. Someone like Jake something, because it depends on what level you're talking about it as well. There's a bunch of people in the UK. There's a bunch of girls there that are so sick. Like Giselle Shaw is cool, and you could see her getting more of a thing. There's Aaliyah James is really good in the UK as a girl wrestler. There's actually as a wrestler in general. Whatever. Stop with his labels, Max. So just called myself by my real name. There's this girl, I don't know how to say her name properly. Her name's Kanja, something like that. Kanji. She's dope.
She, from UK?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's from Manchester.
I don't know her.
She's sick. Yeah. There's a lot of like the OJMO in the UK is awesome. There's a ton of talent that can come up and step up and be the next whatever. Connor Mills.
Yeah.
There's a ton. There's a ton.
Everywhere.
All you gotta do is look.
Yeah. I think every show is a new opportunity to discover really talented wrestlers.
Yeah, 100%. They're all over the place, man. Just gotta look.
Did you have one goal you would like to accomplish in pro wrestling? Like one final goal?
To actually unionize the motherfucker.
You what?
To unionize the motherfucker. I want to unionize professional wrestling.
Welcome to David Starr ASMR. I don't know if that makes sense in English.
No, it doesn't.
It's people that do sound on the mic.
What do they do?
People that do sound on the mic.
Oh, they do sound. Oh. Like onomatopoeic?
Yeah, kind of. Guys, it's late. It's getting late. I think it's time for us to go for real.
Okay, man.
Thanks, David.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
I appreciate it.
I kind of like the coach, to be honest.
Feels great.
Yeah, it feels great. Hope to see you soon. Back here in France.
Oh yeah.
In Europe, in the US, everywhere. I do think you're a great man.
Thanks.
I saw you a couple of years ago, and it's actually the first time I have the opportunity to spend some time with you. Really liked it. Enjoy my weekend. And yeah, please keep pushing for what you think is right, even if we don't agree on everything.
You must agree on everything, don't you? Haven't you read that? If you don't agree on everything that I think, then you're wrong. And you're a Nazi.
Yeah, that's what he said to me at the restaurant. You're wrong. It's wrong.
Well, there's certain things that, yeah. It's
but that's okay. I still like you anyway. Hope to see you soon. Thank you very much for your time once again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
On se retrouve très bientôt les amis sur la chaîne YouTube So Catch by Al. N'oubliez pas, s'il vous plaît, de vous abonner, la petite cloche, le commentaire, le like. On s'abonne sur Insta, on s'abonne sur Twitter. Vous savez, YouTube, maintenant... Ils m'en veulent un petit peu. Donc on va continuer comme ça, sur cette bonne lancée, sur cette communauté incroyable. On se retrouve très bientôt. D'ici là, restez à l'affût, restez affûtés. Bisous à tous.
Do I get to plug my stuff? Do I get to plug all my stuff? My Twitter and my Instagram at @theproductds. You can check out my merchandise stores, my individual ones, prowrestlingtees.com/David Starr, bottlemymerch.com/David Starr, sl-wrestling.de/David-Starr. Also check out WeTheIndependent.com at WeTheIndie, spelled I-E, not Y, because we're indie, not indie. Check out our podcast and stuff.
Boom.
Too, that's super sick. Do it. Do it.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Sois sûr de t'abonner à la chaîne en cliquant sur ma tête et regarde aussi les autres vidéos en cliquant à gauche. Allez, abonne-toi. Allez, abonne-toi mon pote. On est là pour ça.